Risk of rain. Risk of rain to... Risk. Fuck. God damn it. Fucking. Risk of rain. Risk of... Risk of Rain 2 3D Boogaloo is a fun-ass game. It is a totally unique experience, and to describe what it's like to play the game is like trying to understand the mysterious ways in which RNGesus works.
You watch, I got a legendary out of this. I'm just... Yeah.
You fuck.
Ooh.
That's really good for you too.
Ooh. Hopefully by the end of this video you will know how to die a lot in Risk of Rain 2 and why you should die a lot in Risk of Rain 2. So what is Cloudy with a chance of epilepsy? The game is sort of an indie roguelike third-person looter shooter. The gameplay begins very, very simply. You just pick the only character that you have available to you, the commando, and click play. The moment you actually kick that button, however, your soul is now consigned to the furthest layers of gamer hell, where getting good and dying a lot are synonymous. After you touch down, you'll start the search for more shekels as you kill insects, floating bells, and literal demons in order to steal their wealth. However, that comes later. For now, you have angry fireballs to kill. You only have one real direction in the game, and that is to eventually go find the teleporter, flicker on, kill one of several bosses as it charges, and then destabilize your matter so that a new version of you will appear on the next stage. You'll repeat this forever, and indefinitely. That's the whole game. Congratulations, you've won! Also, collect a free V-Bucks gift card by the door on your way out. I'm kidding, obviously. But I wasn't lying about that V-Bucks part. What separates Risk of Rain 2 from its counterparts is its infinitely stacking items and seemingly infinitely stacking difficulty. All of the items interact with the game's world and each other in different ways. For instance, let's take an on-hit item like sticky bombs. On-hit means that when you hit an enemy, there's a chance of it activating the item's effect. Sticky bombs proc on a 5% chance and deal just a bunch of damage. Having more increases the chance of the proc. Let's factor in another item for clarity's sake. The ukulele is a rarer item to find, but is also objectively better. It has a chance of activating a chain lightning effect, spreading extra damage to targets freely. More ukuleles means more bounces of lightning and larger bounce radius. Easy stuff. One important tidbit. The ukulele's damage and bounces can proc a sticky bomb. Now consider that the game has a bunch of items with similar or different functions. There's many items like the sticky bomb or ukulele, and they all stack infinitely, with different effects. Some heal you, some make you attack faster, some make explosions on death, some make the sky rain meteors.
There's the meteor. And it's totes worth it. I'm just a bit scared of the result now. Oh god.
Some hurt everything around you on taking damage, and some do... something? Here's an example of merely one enemy dying and triggering a few on-death items to create this Cume-worthy chain reaction. Now for the difficulty. The difficulty in Risk of Rain will get harder and harder as you play. There are 3 different difficulty settings that just affect how quickly shit hits the fan. Get used to dying, by the way. It's a part of the process. Now as the game goes on, you'll progress through the stages in a loop of 4, with some map variation depending on what stage you'll get. For instance, Stage 1 can either be Distant Roost or Titanic Plains. Stage 2 can either be Wetlands Aspect or Abandoned Aqueduct. This continues for 4 total stages, which is called a loop. Stage 5 is where the loop resets. Each stage can spawn different enemies, has different secrets or achievements tied to them. By the way, if you're ever struggling to find the teleporter, it has little glowies orbiting its area. Now as the difficulty continues to grow and you climb the stages, enemies will progressively become more and more varied and dangerous. At the start of a round, the only real threat aside from the bosses is really just walking rock lasers and flaming flying fuckers. Everything else is sort of trivial. As you keep progressing, however, you'll eventually encounter elite versions of existing enemies, which are in essence elemental or supercharged enemies. They have more health and deal more damage. Some enemies, however, still remain pushovers even if they are elites, but for others, it's like they've been given the off button to your pacemaker.
Wow, I died.
Ice ones slow you and freeze in an area on death. Lightning ones are hard to kill and attach little time bombs to you. Fire ones just hurt a fuck ton.
Oh, its head hit me. I died. Fuck.
Eventually, even bosses will start appearing as normal enemies, spawning outside of just the teleporter event. And soon after that, elite bosses too. For every second that passes, the difficulty ramps up. Eventually, new enemies will spawn that are more geared towards killing the player.
What the fuck?
The enemies in the game are as follows. Floaty flying flaming fucking pain in my ass. Bug, lizard, bad bird, flying explosions.
Come on over here. Come on over here. No, you flipped me off. Come on, coward. No. Come on. You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
Please die faster. Floating health pool, demons of corn, death, double death, pushover, danger lizard, crab of killing, mega bug, sky snake, the boulder, gardener, plastic bag of danger, the devil, angry water jug, testicle, and Gary.
Can't tell what legendary it's got.
That's almost fucking dead.
I just died instantly. Oh, I got hit by its Prion accumulator, I think.
I'm dead.
What the fuck killed us?
Scavenger.
Gary, or scavengers as the game calls them, are often very dangerous when they spawn, so taking them out should be a priority. Or if this happens.
No, God!
In short, scavengers find items that you can find, and they'll find more the longer they're left alive. They can end up getting some pretty crazy combinations if you leave them not dead. So like I said, put them at the top of your priority kill list. And shortly after that, you'll experience your first Malachite elites and Celestine elites. Both are really tanky and really dangerous. Malachite elites poison you if you take damage from them, preventing you from healing for around 8 seconds, which is usually a death sentence. Celestine elites slow you a fuck ton and cause all enemies near them to become invisible. Both change up the gameplay as you continue forward. So with how hard and how absurd the game can become, obviously you'll need a lot of power to take on the harder stages, which is why the items are so important. It's not enough to merely have a lot of any given item. In order to reach the harder stages, you'll need to unlock as many items as you can. But even then, some are better than others. And some are straight up mandatory for a good run. Like the 57-leaf clover, gesture of the drowned, old guillotine, shaped glass, or behemoth. Unlocking these items through their achievements adds them to the potential loot drop pool when you end the run that you unlocked it on. What I'd recommend for efficiency's sake is to put the game on drizzle difficulty, pick 3 or 4 achievements that you can easily remember and do in one run. And then just do them, and then leave the run when you complete them. Rinse and repeat. Eventually, and quickly if you're good at the game, you can get all the items that you need to take you through Monsoon difficulty. Without most of the items unlocked, you'll stand no chance at Monsoon difficulty, which is the definitive Risk of Rain 2 experience. There's currently 9 survivors in the game, and this is how you unlock the other 8. It's not too difficult, so I'll quickly breeze through them. Huntress, beat the 3rd teleporter event without dying. Multi, beat the first stage, stage 1, 5 times, which means you gotta spawn, find the telly, beat the boss, leave to the next stage, and then start over. Do this 5 times. Engineer, just beat 30 stages in total over any given amount of runs. Mercenary, just reach stage 7 and instead of leaving through the normal teleporter, take the blue portal which spawns after every 3rd stage in a loop. Make it to the end of the jump puzzle and literally obliterate yourself and you'll have him. Artificer, spend 10 lunar coins at the lunar bazaar. More on the lunar bazaar later. Rex, after you spawn in, go to the back of your drop pod and press interact, then grab the fuel array. You'll want to take that fuel array to one of the 2 possible map options on stage 4, the lava level. Once there, just merely go here and insert it into the robot there. Be extra careful because if you take 50% or more of your health pool as damage, you'll explode and die. Loader. On the other stage 4 map, you'll find egg nests sitting around near walls and under things. Destroy a couple of them and defeat the boss that spawns from it. It's that simple. Lastly is Acrid. At the Lunar Bazaar, hop off the map down here and take the portal. Sit inside 9 of these purple domes in order to charge them. Completion gets you Acrid. Time for a bad segue. The Lunar Bazaar is a place in Risk of Rain 2 that is very important to having a good run, especially on Monsoon. In the game, there exists a premium secondary currency called lunar coins. Don't worry, you don't have to pay for them. Die with 5 in one run, and you'll have 5 at the beginning of the next one. Lunar coins are acquired in 3 different ways. Number 1, finding them randomly. They have a low drop chance on every enemy that you kill, and the chance is halved each time 1 coin drops in a run. Number 2, obliterating yourself at every 3rd stage's blue portal after the first loop will grant you a few lunar coins. And number 3, finding the lunar beads. If you go to obliterate yourself whilst these beads are in your inventory, you'll access a hidden boss. One of 4 named scavengers that can be a pain in the ass to kill. But killing it will grant you a whole bunch of lunar coins and a little extra for obliterating yourself at the end of the run. Lunar coins are useful for acquiring some of the best or worst items in the game. You only ever really grab these lunar items if your run is going great, otherwise it's a real waste. I recommend only going to the Lunar Bazaar after stage 4. And only if you're having a good run. Otherwise, it's just a waste of coins. But that's not all. Lunar Bazaars can also give you access to a legendary item drop by spending 5 green quality items. The same goes for the green item to its left, but that requires 3 whites. To access the Lunar Bazaar, it will either spawn randomly upon completion of a teleporter event, or you can make it appear if you spend 1 lunar coin at a new altar hidden around the map. You can only tell if you'll get a blue portal if there is a blue glowy orbiting the teleporter. One last thing, there's another hidden boss in the game. He's interesting because you can potentially spawn him on your side every teleporter event if you get his item. To access his stage, you'll need to spend money at this fucking thing and take the gold portal that it spawns at the end of the tele event. Once you're in his boss arena, you'll need to spend money that you earn from killing enemies there to buy these black totems. Once all the totems are flipped on, there'll be a gold explosion and Aurelia Knight will no longer be immune. Beating him in one phase of the totems will grant you the item that spawns him in the teleporter events from there on, giving you a very tanky friend to help out. And by the way, you should always grab this gold portal if you're in the early levels. He's very easy to kill on your first loop, and time pauses whilst you're inside. You can take as long as you want killing him. Another thing of note is to avoid the Artificer. She's just bad. Your chance for a good run with her is lower than any other character. No mobility? No thank you. There's something that I should mention for everyone struggling with Monsoon. With the way the difficulty works in the game, you need to leave a lot of boxes and chests behind that you'll encounter. Get as much as you can in each stage, but leave early. The reason is that in the earlier stages, you have to wait for enemies to spawn to make money off of, whilst the game is still getting continuously harder. See those little ticks there? Every single one of those that passes increases the difficulty. Think of your character's power in comparison to time spent. If you take too long on any given stage, the game might outramp you and you'll fall into the red, meaning that the game's gotten too difficult for your current character and his items to handle. It might be something as simple as a boss fight that goes on for too long, or a little too much time looking for items. Every second factors in. Literally, you need to keep a momentum of killing and looting. At the earlier stages, when you're slow and weak, however, this can be hard. Without going into variables, factors, and other hidden mechanics, here's the secret for a good chance at a god run. Always kill the boss before the counter reaches 100% charge. If the boss isn't dead by 99%, you're reaching sub-optimal performance in a run, and it won't let you reach 100% charge until the boss dies. If you are struggling, run outside the red ring of the teleporter. Don't worry, I won't tell nobody. But don't tarry for too long. You'll need to be in it to charge it, and here's the biggest rule of thumb. Time. On the first 4 stages of your first loop. My recommendation is to always activate the first teleporter somewhere between 2 minutes and 2 minutes 30 seconds. Activate the second stage's teleporter between 6:30 and 7 minutes. Activate the third stage's teleporter by 13 or so minutes. Remember, this is a rule of thumb, a guideline for the rate that you should be desiring to leave stages. It doesn't have to be obeyed all the time. It might seem like you have to leave items behind in order to reach that time frame, but that's the point. Loot the chests that spawn in the teleporter's radius only after you activate the teleporter, because anything inside the red circle after you start it will continue to be accessible. Everything outside is unavailable. And sure, I know you need items to get stronger, but items can come later at the 4th stage of your run. At that stage, you're never short on enemies to kill and you'll have a constant flow of money. The multi-shops as well will always spawn green items on any 4th stage of a loop. And there's always a legendary chest on the magma stage of level 4. There's another guaranteed legendary on the other map, however you have to kill a really tanky boss. I suggest only to tackle it after your first loop, and only if you're doing well. That's really everything you need to know about how to get into Risk of Rain 2. I highly suggest playing it. And if you want more information, go to Wooly's video. His content is a very in-depth look at the game. His channel is practically a bunch of wiki guides to help you get better and to know more about the background info of the game.
Now, here's where we get to the basics of shaped glasses interactions with one-shot protection for you newer players.
And if you want more Risk of Rain 2 entertainment, go watch the Long Road series by Red Riot on YouTube. It covers every Risk of Rain player's frustrations, whilst also presenting it in a funnier format than I could ever do myself.
Right, so... Puppy. Okay, I'm Puppy. Go!
I might do another review of this game later. By then it'll have more stages, more survivors, and more items, and even a final boss, according to the roadmap at least. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm gonna leave you with some footage as to what it's like when you have your first real god run. See yous later!
Yes, that guy's like... Come on, come on. There we go. What do we do? Okay, none of that. I look for it. I think I got 7.